Welcome to the Snowboard Pro Camp live chat. We'll be on here for the next hour to talk to you guys, answer any of your questions, and just get caught up. The snowboard season is quickly approaching. I know some places have already opened, so that's really exciting. But across the board in North America this month, a lot of places are opening up. Same within Europe and overseas, places are opening up everywhere. So the snowboard season is quickly approaching. So if you guys have any questions about the upcoming snowboard season, any gear questions, definitely feel free to hit me up. I'll try to do this chat for an hour. I'm thinking of doing a format where we do like 30 questions. So let's try that out. So we'll do 30 questions. If you guys do super chats will be priority. So those questions will get answered guaranteed. But yeah, I just want to come on, answer at least 30 questions for you guys, or an hour, whichever one comes first. And yeah, just get caught up with you guys, let you guys know where I'm at, what the season entails for me, and yeah, just some of the new gear that I've picked up as well. So, but yeah, let's jump into it. Let's see who's on the chat already. Already a bunch of people here. We got Bad Riders saying Happy Halloween. Yeah, tomorrow's Halloween here. It's pretty exciting. We got Chuck Van. We got Red's Cap. What's up, guys? We got Hayden. We got Hayden on here. Happy shredding, man. Yeah, thanks everyone for hopping on. We got Alexis Fairchild. Yeah, so one thing I can talk to you guys about straight off the bat is that this season my home base is actually going to be the Tahoe area. So I moved to Reno yesterday, and Reno is like right beside Tahoe. It's about like a 45-minute to an hour drive to most of the resorts. So decided to move to the Tahoe area just because there's so many resorts here to explore. Seems like an awesome place. Reno is a pretty like happening city too to be based out of. So like being based out of Reno and then having that short drive to the mountains is pretty cool. And the few days that I did get to ride in the Tahoe area last year, I was like really impressed. Thought that it was just an incredible place and so much to explore. So excited to be based out of here. If anyone on the chat is like a local to the Tahoe area, it'd be awesome to see you up on the mountain. And then on top of that too, there's like lots of resorts that are not too far away. So like Mammoth is a few hours away. We got Oregon is like just a few hour drive away. So lots of different places, resorts that are not super far. So I think it's going to open up a lot of different resorts to ride at this season. So I'm really excited about that. Red says, congrats on the move. Thanks, man. Noah says, come to Mount Hutt, New Zealand. Yeah, so we did wrap up that New Zealand trip too a little while ago. There's still some videos coming out from Cardrona, New Zealand. Just had like an amazing time there, riding the park at Cardrona, linking up with old friends, seeing David Jones out there and collabing on some videos with him. So yeah, New Zealand was an incredible trip. Can't wait to get back there. Speaking of videos, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but this season, the videos are kind of like following a schedule. So Monday through to Sunday, so like 7 days a week, there's like a different video coming out each day, and each video kind of fits into a series. So Mondays is let me see if I can get all these days of the week down. Mondays is 5 Mistake Mondays, and then we have Top 10 Tuesdays, Vlog Week Wednesdays, Best 3 Thursdays, 5 Tips Fridays, Ask a Snowboarder Saturdays, and on Sunday is Progression Session Sunday. So 7 different like categories of videos to kind of organize things and keep to a schedule, and so you guys know what is coming out each day as well. And it's been really great this past month getting content out every single day. And my favorite series has actually been the Ask a Snowboarder Saturdays. So back in Mount Hood, I found 10 different snowboarders up at the resort at Timberline there, and asked them a series of 10 questions. And I've put each of those questions into its own video. So 10 questions, each one gets its own video. And it's been cool to see some like 10 different people's perspective on the same topic. So if you guys haven't seen that video series yet, check it out. There's already 4 videos up. I guess 6 more to come. And yeah, I'm really stoked on that series, and just like getting more different personalities into the channel as well. So it's cool. It was cool for me editing that video because I saw 10 different people with like very different backgrounds and personalities and perspectives on similar topics. So that was pretty cool. If you guys have been watching some of the video series as they've been coming out, and you guys have been stoked on it, maybe let me know like what series you've been into, and which one we should make more of, because I think we have so far like 10 videos for each series coming out. But yeah, I'm gonna be making more in the future, and if there's a series that's not quite connecting, we may change things up a little bit. But yeah, so far those 7 days of the week have been fun to produce and put out there for you guys. We got Insane Art watching from San Diego. What's up, man? In Motion SLB, Shred 1904, Ski Man. We got Dhananjay saying Happy Halloween from India. Awesome, man. Yeah, shout out to the moderators on the channel too, keeping it all clean. Bad Rider says, man, that's huge and so close to TJ. Yeah, TJ is not too far away. He's over in Colorado. So yeah, short flights, cheaper flights within the US. So hopefully we'll be able to collab a bunch this season. I think he's over in Austria right now. Bullberry Miller says, I do all my riding in the dome. Been on the mountain and found the challenge. A huge lift up the dome, which I'm fairly comfortable on. What would you suggest to get more comfortable when on the mountain? So I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. Are you asking about getting comfortable on the chairlift, or just comfortable on the mountain in general? I guess I can kind of like, yeah, for the chairlift, definitely practice your like one-footed riding just off the chairlift first, because with getting on and off the chairlift, the challenge is really just doing it one-footed. So practice lots of one-foot riding just on like a flat area, maybe with like a gentle slope, someplace where you can just get that like skating down, riding with one foot with your free foot in the middle. And then if you're looking to just improve your general skills, that you can take them from the dome and then up into the mountains. Yeah, just work on your turns, feeling in control. Try to create a rhythm in your turns so that your heels and toes are the same shape. Try different styles of turns, so you can try like really quick turns back and forth, controlling your speed. You can open it up with like bigger carving turns, so you can work on your carving. But yeah, just overall, just play around with it. Try learning switch while you're in the dome, because when you learn switch, it like improves your overall balance. So try to mix it up and do a bunch of things. The more you vary up your riding and challenge yourself inside in a dome setting, then when you take it to the big mountain, yeah, you'll really be prepared. Bad Rider says, it's been good to see the community content coming back. Not a lot around at the moment. Absolutely, man. Yeah, just want to bring it back to some of those like old school snowboard pro camp vibes where it's like a good mix of content. I love making vlogs. That's probably, my passion is making like a cool vlog, kind of showcasing like a day or a mountain or just making content that inspires people to go out and ride. But I also love making the content where it's a beginner video or something that helps someone progress with their riding, because yeah, like that's really what kept me in snowboarding was teaching and passing on that knowledge. So Yeah, been loving putting out that content, and it's also kind of like it's a challenge for me too to try to communicate and like think of new ways to share the information. So that's been super fun. Yeah, Dylan says, I've been loving the short but extremely helpful videos lately. Getting up to Winter Park, Colorado next weekend for the first trip of the winter. Awesome, Dylan, man. Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, thanks for checking out those videos. Yeah, I feel like getting that short content out that's helpful is super rewarding. So I'm glad that you're liking it. Gal4XY says, do you have you experienced Europe riding? Yeah, love Europe. The Alps are insane. The mountains out there are just so much bigger and next level than anywhere else I've been. So love snowboarding in Europe, and we'll try to get back there sometime soon. Yeah, a Bad Rider is saying, yeah, weird to see TJ in Austria without you. Yeah, I would have gone, but this whole like move to Reno thing has been a little bit hectic. So just too many things happening at once to also do a trip to Europe. But the season is starting soon here. So in the next like week or two, there's going to be a ton of snow in the mountains. And I think a lot of resorts start opening mid-November. So it's coming here. Nikki says, watched all your instructional videos, learned a lot. What would you recommend? Would you recommend the Evil Twin for just general riding? I'm sliding advanced beginner. Cheers. Okay, awesome. Yeah, the Evil Twin is like that good sort of advanced beginner board because it gives you enough stability, but you also get the catch-free ride of the 3BT in the nose and tail. So yeah, I think it's a pretty versatile board. You can definitely take it from that advanced beginner stage all the way through to advanced. So that's a good one to start with. Bull says, mountain in general, different kind of snow, even on groomed areas. Cheers, Kev. Yeah, definitely. Just so mix it up in the snow dome. Try different types of turns, those short ones. So yeah, short sliding turns, spraying snow at the side, vary up the size, try switch, try riding with your board straight, not straight and out of control, but just like riding with it straight a bit, and then, getting back onto your edges to control yourself. Work on, ollies. You can, start working on ollies and presses, just whatever you feel comfortable, kind of like just pushing it a little bit at a time in the snow dome, and then all that will pay off when you go to the big mountain. Just let you guys know too, like I'm reading all the comments. I'm only gonna try to like read the questions though. So if you give me like a shout out or whatever, I'm definitely reading it. And yeah, thanks so much for all the nice words. Yeah, Nikki says, much love from the UK. Awesome, thanks Nikki. Josh says, I only have 2 days to ride this upcoming season at Snowshoe, West Virginia. I've been riding for 2 years now. Did my first box last year. What should I focus on since I have limited time? Wow. Okay, so if you only have 2 days to ride, that's not a ton of time. So I would just, spend those days like having fun, enjoying it. My dog's barking in the background. Jake, no barking. Just enjoy it, man. Just like go up, have fun. I would say like, yeah, go back. If you did the box last year, do the box again. But yeah, it's hard to really progress a lot in 2 days. So just have fun with it, man. I would just go out and see what you're feeling. In those 2 days, you might be feeling it and you might be tempted to try some tricks on that box, but it depends on the conditions and how you're feeling. So I would just see on the day, man. But yeah, have fun. Gal4XY says, just bought the new Capita Kazu Kokobu Pro. Awesome. Yeah, good choice. So yeah, actually I should tell you guys about the park snowboard I have. So I've got the K2 After Black this season. So I've been riding, I rode this board in the park in New Zealand, and I really love it. So it's a 159 wide. So it's like my first Actually, the park board I rode last season, the Sensor Plus, was a wide as well. So I've been really liking wide park boards. Um, and yeah, it's pretty camber dominant board, twin, nothing too fancy. A bit on the stiffer side. I think it's like a 6 out of 10 in stiffness, the K2 After Black. So I'm really loving it. So what I like about a stiffer park board is that when you're riding at high speeds, it kind of like stays pretty stable. So if you're hitting a jump, you feel stable off of the jump because of that 6 out of 10 stiffness, and then same for the landing. So that stability I really appreciate. And then also, like, if you're hitting like boxes or tubes or rails, having that like stiffer board when you get sideways, I feel like it keeps the board like flat and doesn't like bow out too much. Maybe it's because I'm getting too big, but I find if I have a softer board, and the board will flex too much if I get onto a tube or rail. So that 6 out of 10 is pretty nice. It's got lots of pop for ollies. So yeah, I've been really liking the K2 After Black, and actually looking at possibly getting for my POW board. I think it's called the K2 Excavator, but it's yeah, K2 POW board as well. I don't know why I'm checking out the K2 boards this year. They're not affiliated with the channel at all. It just sparked my interest. It looked like I was doing some research online, and the K2 After Black looked like just a super solid board. So yeah, there's a link to that in the description if you guys want to check it out too. Bad Rider says, I'm gonna sound old, but I remember back when you moved from tutorials to vlog content with buying the OG 420, those Burton Ion boots. Awesome, man. Yeah, that's an OG vlog for sure. That was back with Chris Ayers was on the channel quite a bit. And yeah, I mean, back in the day, it was pure tutorials, and that was a lot of fun. And vlogging wasn't really a thing until, I can't remember which year, but I remember that YouTuber Casey Neistat used to started making a ton of vlogs, and that was pretty inspiring to get the vlogs going as well. Yes, no, Ecstatic asking what K2 board is that? Yes, the K2 After Black. There's a link in the description. Yeah, awesome way to support the channel. If you guys buy any gear online, if you buy it through the links in the description, I often pin it to the top of the comments too, my gear list. So if you guys need any new gear and you buy it through those links, yeah, I get a small commission. So it's a good way to support the channel. It's kind of like how I do this full time. And I've got an employee this year too. So Yannick from the UK, he's like helping me to edit and film. He's coming to Reno actually in a few days, or like in about a week. So he's going to be here for most of the winter to help me film and edit. So yeah, it's what you guys do by watching and supporting the channel is what keeps it going as well. So thank you guys. Steven says, was wondering what you think is the best way to buy snowboard gear on a budget. I was just wondering when you started out, how you were able to afford better gear over time. Yeah, so when I was doing it, Steven, it was like, I started snowboarding when I still lived at home with my parents. I was like 15 years old, I think. And so like that was kind of lucky because my parents helped me out. I had my birthday is December 30th, so like right around Christmas. So I would like combo my Christmas present with my birthday present, and that was how I got my like first snowboard basically. And I didn't even get it from a proper snowboard shop. It was like a sporting goods store up in Canada, and I just got like a more basic snowboard. I can't even remember the brand. I don't think it exists anymore, but at that time, I bought a snowboard for maybe like $200, bindings for like less than 100, boots for less than 100. Just had all my snowboard gear was on a budget, and that was with the help of my parents. When I got a bit older, that's when I started like working part-time jobs. And for me, like when I was like a teenager and even in my early 20s, the only thing I like cared about spending money on was snowboarding. So like all the odd jobs I did, like I was painting houses, I worked at Blockbuster Video, and then I started teaching snowboarding. And especially once I started teaching snowboarding, pretty much all my spare money went into snowboard gear. So it's kind of like, yeah, what your priorities on. Like I didn't have a car, I didn't go on trips, I didn't, do anything outside of snowboarding really. So that helped. But yeah, if you want to save money, a good way to do it is if you shop online, you can look at last year's stuff. So right now, all the new 2023 snowboard gear is coming out, and they want to get rid of the 2022 snowboard gear, everything from last season. So most like snowboard products are the same year after year. Sometimes they change a little bit with like a different style, different like top sheet, of course, every year. But in general, like the products stay like almost the same year after year. So if you get something from last year, that's a great way to do it. I think a lot of stores too, if you like go to a snowboard shop, a lot of shops will have that area where they're trying to clear out last year's gear. So that's like probably the best way to do it. Also, if you know that you're going to be going to one place, try to pick up a season pass and try to do it early as well. There's usually like an early bird price. And if you're in school too, they may have like a discount. A lot of like, if you're in college, or I don't know if they have like youth passes, but yeah, usually they try to make passes cheaper for young people as well. So you can check out all of that. And then the other way you can do it is to get like, you can shop on like Craigslist or like a place where they sell used stuff. And that can be a decent way to do it, but just make sure that you are getting stuff that's like the right size for you and it's not like been used too much, because even if it's a good deal, you don't want to buy like a board that's broken or just in terrible shape. So yeah, make sure it's still in good use. All right. Dhananjay says, it's 3 a.m. in India. Still watching your video. Wish you could come to India. Awesome, Dhananjay. Yeah, thanks for staying up late. So the plan, I think we were planning on going to India this winter to go snowboarding, but I think the visas are like backed up for like a long time. So I think the plan now is to visit India in like say February of 2024 and go to Kashmir and hopefully check out up in Gulmarg. So that will be a trip that we want to do in around February 2024. So we're going to start applying for the visas to go, I think pretty soon. But yeah, we'll hopefully see you in India, man. Marco says, do you think the Capita Outsiders with Union Strata is a good combo for a beginner to start with or progress over time? Cheers from Croatia. Yeah, I mean, I think the bindings are good. The Capita Outsiders may be a bit of a advanced board for a beginner. I would maybe recommend something that is softer and maybe something that has more rocker towards the tips. So maybe something like the Pathfinder, or yeah, check out other boards in the Capita lineup that are maybe like even cheaper and have some more of that early rocker, so the tip and tail are rising up out of the snow sooner than the Capita Outsiders, because the Outsiders is a bit more of a advanced snowboard. If you do get it, I think you'll probably be fine, but a softer, more rocker friendly Capita board would probably be better, Marco. So maybe check out some of those. Darth is asking about the Capita Ultra Fear. So actually, Marco, yeah, maybe check out the Ultra Fear too. That one's I'm pretty sure it's softer and has more rocker. So Darth says, do you think the Capita Ultra Fear is a solid park board? Also, does the DOA suck? No, the DOA is really good. It's a great, it's a more advanced park board, I would say, or just a more advanced board all around because of the stiffness. But the Ultra Fear is going to be a bit softer. So I think it depends on your style of park riding and what you want to do. I think if you're more beginner intermediate, then the Ultra Fear is probably better. And if you're more advanced, then I would go for the DOA. So yeah, it's kind of depends on what you like too, because you could even be an advanced rider and like the Ultra Fear if that's more your style, if you want that softer board for presses and for butter tricks. But yeah, Ultra Fear for more beginner intermediate, DOA for more advanced. Oh, Joe Pro 10 says, love your Alaska video, bro. Awesome. Thanks, Joe Pro. I like your name, man. Raygo wants to know about the 100% Snowcraft goggles. I haven't checked those out. I haven't ridden a 100% goggle before. I feel like they're not really a snowboard goggle. They're more maybe like for dirt bike sports, but I'll have to look into it. Ryan says, "Yo, Kev, wondering what your top resorts to visit in Canada are." So I would say my top three. So number one is definitely Whistler Blackcomb. It's just it's so big, so much terrain to explore. Maybe gets the most amount of snow. And then terrain park wise, you have like a big variety of terrain park features. Then I would say my next favorite resort in Canada is maybe I haven't ridden a ton in other places. I've visited a lot, but I would say my number two is probably Fernie, BC. So Fernie, when I was riding there, there was like lots of powder. Really like the trees, the pitch of the slopes, a quiet mountain, not nearly as big as Whistler Blackcomb, but still like a big variety of terrain. So that it just looked like a really cool mountain to explore. And of all the mountains I've been to in Canada, Fernie is probably the one I would want to go back to the most, just because I can tell there's lots to explore in the trees and everything. And then my number three would maybe be like, I'd probably say my number three mountain in BC is Big White. Big White, it's more mellow terrain, but it's like pretty unique. That they have like really short trees. The terrain park setup looked really fun, and the whole vibe of Big White was pretty nice. I would say Big White's the most like beginner friendly mountain. It's kind of like everywhere is pretty mellow. And then you have the town right there, like a little village at the bottom. So, but yeah, Whistler Blackcomb is definitely is definitely my number one in Canada. But the only problem with Whistler is it's very expensive, and it's also very busy. So try to go when it's not busy and if you can find some deals. AJ says, "Hey Kevin, it's AJ from Mount Hood, Oregon. Are you planning on coming back this season? Hope you're doing well. Cheers." Yo, AJ, man. Jake, shh, no barking. Yeah, definitely gonna try to get back to. My dog's barking in the background again. Jake. Gonna try to get back to Mount Hood. We'll definitely be there for the summer riding. So that's 100%. We'll be there in like late June through July. Like I feel like that's the best place on Earth. Maybe on Earth for like late June, early July snowboarding. Yeah, love the park there, but may plan a trip there this winter as well. So hope to see you back out there, AJ. Joe Pro says, recently switched from Huck Knife to a Nitro Dropout directional and changed my life. When's the last time a new board really surprised you? Nice, man. So I guess, yeah, the last time a board really surprised me was last season when I was riding the Nidecker Sensor Plus, because I didn't know really what to expect, but I really like the stiffness of the board. It also has the like 3BT and at the contact points. So that combination of like stiff park board with the 3BT just made it feel very precise, catch free, which kind of like, yeah, really switched me over to wide park boards. So yeah, that was a board that surprised me and was really impressive. The Nidecker Sensor Plus. I did do a video a few weeks ago where it's like my top 10 park boards, and the Nidecker, yeah, that board was number one. And I think it was because, yeah, I didn't know what to expect, and it really surprised me. Erwin says, hey, Kevin, when you buy a new board, do you put a new coat of wax on it, or do you ride it on the factory wax first? I guess it kind of depends. Like if the factory wax looks a bit dry, sometimes you like buy a board and it actually looks dry, then I might wax it. But if your base looks like fine and it looks, like doesn't look dried out, then I would probably just I'd ride it once or twice on the factory wax. But if it's like a POW board, I would maybe wax it before a POW day just so that there's no chance of having a sticky day. All right, Adam's saying I missed a super chat. We got a super chat from Bad Ratters. Shout out the DWCP. Have you seen our podcast, Kev? I haven't. I'm gonna have to go find that podcast. Cool, man. All right, I'll hop over to the Facebook group, and if somebody can share a link to the podcast, I'll check it out. And Adam, thank you for the super chat. Night Owl says, you ever thought of going competitive? If so, which one would you do? Big air, slalom, slope style, half pipe, or cross, border cross? Well, if I could go back into a time machine and start training for one of these, it would probably be slope style, because yeah, I feel like if I was going to compete in something, it would be, it'd be pretty fun to compete in slope style. Just that mix of tricks and features, and it just seems like the one that's the most fun. But yeah, I think my window to compete is gone just because I'm too old now. But yeah, it would definitely be slope style. Rise with the super chat says, appreciate your top 3 resorts for BC. We're working up at Mount Washington this season. Massive love for the channel. Keep doing what you do, brother. Awesome. Thanks, Rise, for the support. Yeah, Mount Washington, that's pretty cool. So that was a place I was keeping an eye on Mount Washington the last couple of years because I wanted to make a trip over there. If you guys don't know about Mount Washington, it's one of Vancouver Island's only ski resorts. I think there's like a few, but Mount Washington is kind of like the main one. So that's awesome that you're working there this season. Hope you have a great season out there. And yeah, I would love to get over to Mount Washington at some point. But yeah, really appreciate the super chat, Rise. Bradley says, chat, fill me in on what's the new home. So yeah, the new home is I moved to Reno, Nevada, so that I could be next to Lake Tahoe and all the resorts over there. So looking forward to riding at North Star, Palisades, Heavenly, Sugar Bowl, Homewood. I think there's at least a dozen resorts to explore, maybe more. So yeah, that's the update. New home base this season. Chase says, are Vans your favorite boots? Definitely. Yeah, I think the Vans are my favorite. So I did just pick up these from the Recess shop in Boone, North Carolina. And these are the Vans High Standard Pros. So I do have the Vans High Standard OGs, which I'm still gonna wear, I think, for a while. But it can be hard to get new snowboard boots. So the Vans High Standard Pros, they got the traditional laces. They do have this like strap up top, which I really like. So if anything does feel a bit loose, you can just give this strap like a pull to get everything tight again. But for me, the Vans are just the most comfortable. They've got like a comfortable sole. When you put your foot in, you really feel like you're slipping your foot into like a comfortable like slipper, especially like around the toe. The toe just feels like it's like a comfortable like toe pocket, which I really like. So comfortable toe pocket, traditional laces, and just that like softer mid flex feel, so like a 4 to 10 on flex, so not too stiff and not too soft, so that kind of good in between. So yeah, Vans are definitely my favorite boot. But there's probably bad models that I wouldn't like. I specifically like the high standard OGs and the high standard Pros. Those are my two favorite Vans. Yeah, Morks says, "Hey Kev, do you recommend soft or hard boots for beginners who usually suffer from boot pain?" I definitely recommend softer boots, especially I think if you're a beginner, you need a softer boot will allow you to do kind of more like smaller movements with your board and with your edges. So I think yeah, for those softer movements, or for those smaller movements, you want a softer boot. And also, I think, and from my experience, like softer boots also translate to less foot pain. Because if you have like a really stiff, hard boot, then your foot is kind of going to be stuck in there and not being able to move or flex how it wants. So, from my experience, softer boots also give you less foot pain. So definitely, I'd recommend soft boots. Darren says, best advice for someone doing a season in Whistler for the first time. So if it's your first season, my advice would be like, don't work too much. Like, put snowboarding number one. You can definitely get sucked into like working a lot or going out partying too much in Whistler, because Whistler has all those things. So try to make snowboarding your number one priority. And then for season wise, like just be there first. Like be the first one. If it's a POW day, be at the mountain first. Be the first one in line. Yeah, so you got to get there early to get that first gondola or first chairlift. And yeah, just explore the different areas that you like. And if you decide that peak chair is your favorite chair, or if you like Blackcomb Mountain better and you like the glacier chair or crystal, yeah, like explore those areas, but also be there first on a powder day, because if you can get some of those first lines, it's incredible. Yeah, just get there early. Yeah, what else would I say? Try not to spend all your money too early, because Whistler can be expensive and you can end up spending all your money like out at restaurants and going out and on snowboard gear too. So try to save your money by just getting things from the grocery store and living a more conservative lifestyle, and put your focus into snowboarding. So yeah, I mean everyone's different, but that's kind of what I wish I had done more like early on. I was kind of like in my 20s, I think I was a bit crazy in Whistler, and then once I really started focusing on just the snowboarding aspect, that's when I really started to appreciate the place even more. Nicolette says, what do you think about Burton step-on bindings and boots? Yeah, I think the step-ons are good if like that convenience of stepping in quickly is like your number one priority. So like if you have any issues like bending over to put your straps on, then I would get them if you have if that's an issue for you. But I feel like if you don't really if performance or price is more of a priority, then I would just get the traditional laced boots with the standard 2-strap bindings. I think that's the best combo for like performance around the mountain. It may not be the most convenient, but performance wise, I think it's the best. Strive 48, any snowboard jackets or pants that you recommend? Yeah, so some of my favorite stuff, I did recently make a video, my top 3 jackets. So I really like some of the Volcom Gore-Tex jackets. So the Volcom Gooch jacket and also their stretch Gore-Tex stuff. Although the Volcom jackets are getting pretty expensive. So that's becoming a harder thing to do, but I do like the Volcom jackets. Last year I rode the L1 Ventura jacket and pants, which I really liked. It was like super lightweight, and it had like 20, I think it was 20K waterproofness, so not Gore-Tex, but pretty decently waterproof. So yeah, it's hard. I like L1, I like Volcom. I would say like if you're trying stuff on, try to get stuff that's like really lightweight, and then depending on where you live is gonna determine like how much waterproofness you need. So if you live on the West Coast where the snow is a bit heavier, then you may want to get Gore-Tex or that like 20 to 25K waterproofing. If you ride somewhere where it's colder, you may have to get a jacket that's insulated. And if you're riding places that are colder too, you might not need like Gore-Tex. So it's, yeah, jackets get cheaper with the less waterproofing they have too. So, but yeah, Volcom and L1 have been my favorite the last couple of years. Bobbin says, opinion about Oakley flight deck goggles. So I like the flight decks. They're like a big goggle, and they give you lots of viewing angle from like at the side, up and down. So the flight decks are really good for that. The one thing with the Oakleys is you only get one lens, so you may have to buy a second one. Like they do have like the Prism, I think it's called Prism Rose, that kind of does everything. But then you may want to get like you may want to have two lenses for a sunny day and for a cloudy day. So that's one thing to consider with Oakleys, is you got to buy that second lens. But the one thing I feel like I don't like, I like the line miners, the Oakley line miners more, is because they sit like closer to your face, so you don't really see the frame of the goggle as much. Where the flight decks, I feel like you see like a bit more of the frame of the goggle because it's sitting more away from your face. So that's the reason that I don't wear the flight decks, is I feel like they're just like a bit too far away from my face compared to the line miners or a goggle like the Anon M3s or M4s. Robert says, what's up, Kevin? You gonna come check out Bogus again this year? So Bogus Basin in Idaho. I might do, yeah. I don't think I'm like that far from Bogus Basin, so I may have to make the drive out. But yeah, our friend El Stacker is out there too, so it would be super fun to go out there and ride again with him. But no plans at the moment. Andy says, do you work out for snowboarding? If so, what do you do and why? I do have like a routine that I do that I need to do more of, but that I do sometimes. So a few things I do, like, so I do like planks for my core, just trying to keep, I think they're called planks. Yeah, just trying to do some, like, if you can do some exercises for your core muscles to keep them strong, I think that's really important. I think if you have a strong core too, that like will help to protect your back, and just overall when you're snowboarding, you're going to be a bit more solid. So whatever exercises you like to do, but for me, I'll do some planks, some like side planks, a few like variations of sit-ups. I'm not really sure what they're called, but just a few things that like target those like stomach muscles. I also do some like squats, lunges, things that like kind of keep your legs in shape throughout the season. And yeah, just some like general things too, like push-ups, and yeah, what else do I do? I'll do some like push-ups, and also just like hiking too. Like I think outside of snowboarding, the next thing I do is hiking, and doing hikes is great for your legs, for cardio, and that comes into play too throughout the season, because one of my favorite things to do on the mountain for snowboarding is like going on those like mountain hikes. So if you can do some hikes in the off season as well, I think that really prepares you for snowboard season. Erwin says, Smith just came out with a goggle that takes a 3D image of your face and makes a frame that fits exactly to your face. It's $400. It's pretty pricey. Oh wow, that's cool though. That could be worth it. Um, awesome. Somebody says opinion about Tech 9. To be honest, I really haven't ever had any Tech 9 gear. I don't even know if that company still exists or if you can buy it. So I do still see like Tech 9 boards and bindings and I think even jackets around sometimes, but I'm not sure if I've ever seen it like in a store. So I don't really have an opinion about it. Bad Rider says budget isn't an issue, but build the ultimate Japan quiver for outerwear, Kev. Wow. Okay. So yeah, my ultimate outerwear for a Japan uh, quiver. I'd probably get like yeah the van or the Volcom like Gooch. It's called like yeah the Volcom Gooch like jacket and pants. I think it's like stretch Gore-Tex and just yeah really quality stuff. I had that set up a few years ago. I had the like when I had the big bird outfit fit. It was all yellow. Yeah, then I'd probably do the Anon M4 goggles, a Smith helmet. I got the black strap face mask. Would do the Volcom boots, and for mittens, oh man, mittens are tough. Like, yeah, maybe do those. I have a pair of the 686 Gore-Tex mittens. I'd probably wear those. So, yeah, and then base layers. I don't I don't know what I would do for base layers, but I guess if yeah, if money was no issue, I would go for the Volcom outerwear, Volcom Gooch. Maximos wants to know where are you from, bro? So I was born near Toronto in a small city called Oshawa. So it's just like a small city, like 40 minutes from Toronto, and yeah, just some small hills there. So once I was in high school, I started going like I joined the like high school like ski and snowboard club. We would go like every Tuesday. Like a bus would just drive us out to this like small resort nearby, and that's how I got into snowboarding. But yeah, I just live in that's where I was from. So there's not a ton of there's almost pretty much no mountains where I grew up. We did get cold winters up in Canada there, but yeah, nothing. Not really a ski and snowboard mecca, really. The M Beats, how many boards a year do you test? Was in Hamilton last week. I'm from Edmonton. Okay, cool. Yeah, Hamilton is not too far from Oshawa. Um, I'm not sure how many boards I test. It kind of varies from year to year. Some years, like I'll have companies send out lots of different boards, and so I can test out a bunch. And other years, not so much. So it's kind of varied. Some years I've ridden like 10 to 15 boards, and other years I've only ridden a few. So it really varies. But yeah, the last 10 years I've gotten to ride on average I would say like yeah 10 boards a year. And I try to like demo boards too. A lot of times too, if like a board doesn't make it into a video, it's because I just didn't like the board, and yeah, I don't really want to spend my time like talking about why I don't like something. I'd rather talk about the gear that I do like. So, but yeah, I'm always trying to ride more and more boards. The M Beat says, "Where is your home base now?" So, yeah, yesterday, 2 days ago, moved to arrived to Reno, Nevada, and so we'll be riding at the resorts around Lake Tahoe. So, yeah, the home base this year is going to be mainly resorts in Tahoe. So excited about that. And Jay says, "What is your favorite mountain?" Well, my favorite resort is at this moment is definitely Mount Baker in Washington. Just had some incredible days there, met some awesome people, and yeah, such an amazing vibe up at Mount Baker. Really good snow. Yeah, it's my favorite mountain. Maximo says, "How much money does it cost for a lift ticket there? I'm from Greece and thinking of coming there for snowboarding." So it kind of depends. If you Depends on if you're coming for a while, definitely buy like a season's pass like now or like soon. But if you're only going day by day, it kind of depends on what resort you're going to. Um, if you're coming to Tahoe, there's a bunch of different resorts, and the price, like, I feel like it ranges from like say $50 a day to like $200 a day. So it depends on where you're going. I know Whistler, I think a day ticket in Whistler is $180 Canadian, but that may have changed now. Nicholas says, my board is slightly under my chin. Should I still use it this season and change it next season? Yeah, that sounds like that's usually about where it is, but what you can do too is like look up the board that you have online and see if you can find like the sizing chart, and then it should match you up with like your weight to the size of board that you have. So that's probably the best way, Nicholas, to make sure that it's the right size board for you. Dean, is there a way to practice carving in the off season? Not really, but I would say like getting into like a bit of skateboarding definitely helped to improve my edge control on my snowboard, because in snowboarding it's like it's so much harder for like balance and like staying on the wheels and rocking from turn to turn. So I would say that yeah, skateboarding helped to improve my edge control on my snowboard. So yeah, if you're looking for something to help you improve your carving, I would say skateboarding would be the thing to do it. The M Beat says, do you have your Cassie and what level? So I do. When I was teaching snowboarding, I was always like trying to go for the next like course or next thing. So yeah, my first year of teaching, of course, I got my level 1. And then a year or two after moving to Whistler, I did my level 2 Cassie. I also did like my park 1, and I did an avalanche course and also an evaluator course. So I could like run the instructor courses. I never did that, but I did the courses. And then close to my last year in Whistler, I did my level 3 Cassie as well. So I think that was around like 2008 or 2009. I did my Cassie level 3. But since then, since starting the channel and like since I've stopped teaching, I haven't gone for any more courses. So I didn't go for my level 4. And yeah, I mean, those courses are good. I think they're a good challenge, and they're good if you're teaching snowboarding. But yeah, I feel like they did help me in some ways kind of progress. It was great too. You get like a pay raise for every every course you would take. So yeah, I did a few of those Cassie courses back in the day. Audie says, you got me into snowboarding, man, and I love it. Thank you for all the vids. Love from Romania. Awesome, Audie. Yeah, appreciate you saying that. That's amazing. Hope you have a great season in Romania. SZ says, do you use a roof rack on your car? If so, which one? I don't. My car is a Honda Passport, and I think it's kind of like big enough to fit everything inside, so I don't have a roof rack. Nicholas says, what do you think about skiing? I mean, skiing is fun. I know a lot of people that like love skiing, a lot of my good friends. For me, like it got to the point, like I did ski and snowboard at the same time, maybe like 20 years ago. But when I had to like buy new equipment, I love snowboarding more, because snowboarding, you kind of feel, it gives you that sort of like surfing feeling. And just like, yeah, carving and feeling a bit more like natural. So that's why I stuck with snowboarding. And I feel like too, for me, like I like the style of snowboarding more too. Like when it comes to tricks or in powder, snowboarding seemed a bit more appealing. So that's why I stuck with snowboarding over skiing. But I know a lot of people love skiing too for all the same reasons. So it's really just preference. Kim says, any plans for Japan in 2023? Man, I would love to go to Japan. It's just gonna see like how their season goes, budget wise. I feel like I just moved here to the Tahoe area, so I don't want to like make plans to leave just yet. But it's definitely tempting to go to Japan in like late January. So I'll keep an eye on like how the season's going out there, and yeah, I would love to go, but haven't made any plans yet. And the M Beat says, ever ridden the GNU Headspace? I have. Yeah, that was my park board for a season a few years ago. Yeah, really love that park board. It's got the Magnatech down the side, so giving you that grip on ice. Yeah, I think it's got C3, so lots of snap for like ollies and stability. So yeah, I love the Headspace. One of my favorite boards for sure. Audie says, I'm very tall, 6'6". What do you think about the Jones Mountain Twin? 168 for me. I'm an all mountain rider. I want to pair it with the Union Force. Nice, man. Yeah, I would just check out your weight as well to make sure that your weight is going well with that board. And yeah, I mean, Mountain Twin, I would say, yeah, that's kind of like a good versatile snowboard too. Just make sure that it's wide enough too. For I don't know what size, depending on like the size of your feet as well. Make sure it's wide enough for your feet because if you're 6'6", you might have some big feet too, man. So just make sure that, yeah, I feel like for you, it's like the the width of the board is going to be the most important thing. Nikki says, me and my friends are trying to decide where to go this winter. Where's your top European resort? Cheers. I haven't ridden a ton in Europe. I really loved St. Anton in Austria. That mountain was really incredible, like huge, so many things to explore. Um, but if I were to go back, I would really like to go snowboarding somewhere in Italy, just because I feel like Italy is maybe a bit cheaper and the food is maybe better. So I would like to go back and maybe check out somewhere in Italy. But yeah, to be honest, I haven't explored Europe enough um, to really recommend something good. I know that the three valleys in France are supposed to be incredible as well. Um, but yeah, I really can't give you advice on which one is the best for winter. I just haven't been to enough places. Henry just got done with work. Sorry if you had a similar question has been asked. But what are some of your favorite lenses for the Anon M4s? Looking to pick up a pair this year and not sure which colors to get. Um, oh man, off the top of my head, I can't think of the colors I have. I know that my Sunny Day lens has kind of got like a purple tint to it. I really like that one. And yeah, what's my low light lens? I can't remember, man. I'm sorry. I'll have to put some links. I'll have to get back to you on that one. But yeah, they do have a lot of good lenses. But yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'll have to get back to you on that. Rose says, have you ever ridden the Battalion Camel 2? What are your thoughts about this board? I haven't ridden it, but yeah, it looks like a nice board. I feel like Battalion's 3BT through powder would be super nice. And I think the Camel 2 also has that like shorter tail. And I think the Camel 2 is also a stiffer version of that board too. So I like that for powder. So I haven't ridden it, but it seems like a pretty interesting board. All right. Liam says, first winter in BC. Just got a pass for Whistler. Any tips to make the most of the winter? So I did answer this earlier, similar question, but I would just on a powder day get to the chairlifts that you want to ride first, also on a powder day, and yeah, just explore the mountains and yeah, be safe. Be careful of the tree walls and stuff. So whenever you're riding with friends or trees, definitely do it with friends. Keep an eye on each other. Early season conditions can be sketchy up in Whistler too, like rocks under the snow and tree wells. So be careful of that. But yeah, to make the most of it, just be there early. Try to get to the gondola or the chairlift of your choice first. And yeah, especially on those powder days, keep an eye on the forecast. Sometimes when it's raining in the village, it might be snowing at the top of the mountain. So yeah, make the most of that powder for sure. Sweet, awesome guys. So that's just over an hour. Thanks for hopping on to hang out for the live chat. I'm really excited. Season starting soon. I hope you guys are all set for the season. And yeah, just want to say really appreciate all the support that you guys have given here to the channel. And stay tuned because yeah, this coming week we've got 7 videos are ready to go. So yeah, if you guys are tuning in late, so today's Sunday, Monday tomorrow we got 5 Mistake Mondays. Tuesdays is Top 10 Tuesdays. Vlog Week Wednesday, Best 3 Thursday, 5 Tips Friday, Ask a Snowboarder Saturday, and then Progression Session Sunday. So yeah, stay tuned for all those videos. Thank you guys again for hopping on here, and I'll catch you guys in the next live chat soon. Awesome. Sweet. Later, guys.